I'm Richard Lawson, Dean of St. John's Cathedral, joined by Bishop Rob O'Neill and Ginger O'Neill. Rob is the 10th bishop of the Episcopal Church in Colorado, and he was bishop when I was called as dean, and therefore I have a close and wonderful relationship with him. I'm really grateful to be here, in part because of him. And Ginger is one of our favorite parishioners and is much, much beloved here at St. John's Cathedral. And it's a joy to be with him. And Rob, I'd love to start with you and ask a question about St. John's long history of community engagement in Denver.
Well, that's a great question to be asking. St. John's Cathedral dates way back to the last century, into the early 1860s, and has a history of being engaged and an active part of building, developing the Denver community for all of its life. But it's really a core piece of our identity as a worshiping community here in Denver. People don't realize that the United Way was actually founded as an ecumenical project by the Dean of St. John's Cathedral. When I was ordained here in the early 80s, Central Denver Community Services was just across the driveway here,
Right.
And served the transient population in the Capitol Hill area. Out of that grew Metro Caring, which is large and active, providing food for the local community. St. Francis Center was founded around the same time. And even in recent years, St. John's has continued to be engaged in various homeless initiatives, including founding the Women's Homeless Initiative, as well as being instrumental in establishing the second unit of housing run and operated by the St. Francis Center here, the St. Francis Apartments on Cathedral Square North. And there's much, much more. And that's just a piece of what this St. John's community is.
Amazing. And that's a part of the springboard and inspiration for something near and dear to your heart, which is, as a part of this capital campaign, having community engagement and grants, both and, not just giving away some funding, although that's important, but really getting involved.
Absolutely. I mean, a key piece of our identity as the church is not just to be transformed individually through our relationship with one another and with God, but to be transformed in the way we engage the world around us, and to give life, to create life with others. And so in our life as a community, there's really a spectrum of ways that we can be engaged, from low risk to high risk, from giving away money, making grants, to being personally engaged, giving our real time and energy and our effort, and all across the spectrum. It is what our life is intended to be: active, touching, concrete, incarnational, engaging the world around us, transforming the world around us. So in terms of this campaign, actually, what would really excite me is not just that we make grants to the community, but that we leverage those grants in ways that capture our hearts and actively engage us in the world around us. That's our history as a community.
Ginger, you are a member of the Arts and Architecture Commission, and a part of that work is taking care of the fabric of the building and commissioning new pieces. And due to the fact that during the interim deanship, the old font disintegrated, you on Arts and Architecture have commissioned a new font. Will you talk about the design of it?
Yes. That was very strange that an old font would just collapse, but it did. And we worked with Terry Eason, who helped us design the chairs, the new chairs in the nave. Terry's been great. We had a small committee pulled together, but the design has been finalized. We've signed the contract. It'll be in wood, matching. It'll transition, the finish will transition between the coloring of the altar to the back narthex, and it's in a Gothic design.
And the font is movable, so
It is portable.
Baptisms can be take place at a variety of places, including at the top of the chancel steps or occasionally down in the nave.
So when we removed the pews and put in chairs, suddenly our space became multi-use. And we thought, wow, what if we have a movable font? We could move it to the chancel steps. We could have it in the back where it's traditional. We could put it in the middle for high holy seasons. And so we thought, well, it'll be movable, and it's in 3 parts, so to alleviate the weight. And we decided at a small committee to honor Nancy Hawthorne for this memorial font. Nancy, we obviously met when we came in 1981. Nancy was head of the children's ministry, unpaid for 10 years. She just
Amazing.
loved children, and she was a teacher by training.
Well, I love that it is in memory of people whom you and our community hold dear. And thinking about memory, you have a lot of memories of people who are in All Souls Walk, the columbarium. I suspect, Rob, and we've not put it on an Excel spreadsheet, I suspect that you, more than any other priest or bishop, have buried more people in All Souls than anyone else. All Souls Walk is a place that is holy to you for all kinds of reasons.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I was ordained here as a priest in 1981, served here actively for 10 years, been returned as bishop sometime after that, and so I have had the privilege of officiating at various funerals, spending time with families during the loss of a loved one. And I cannot walk down All Souls Walk without calling to mind all kinds of names, people that I know that we've interacted with. When I sit at All Saints and hear a list of those who've died, I discover to my astonishment that I know most of those names. And I don't just know the names, but there's a story, there's a narrative, there's a life, there's a web of relationships, and it really is holy and sacred ground.
I also enjoy, and I know you both do, that All Souls Walk is so close to the cathedral, and that we gather there
I like
so
that a
many
lot.
Sundays for coffee hour, and you get this sense of the living, the dead
Yes.
being together as they are in Christ.
And lining up for confirmations outside the cathedral or ordinations outside the cathedral. It's just a very real presence with all the dimensions of our life together.
We're so grateful to have both of you as honorary co-chairs of this campaign. Why did you say yes to this? And we were delighted when you did.
Because we love you. We love this place. We've made a ton of great friends here.
Yeah.
We have a long history from 1981 till now. We've had 2 children of the 3 baptized here. Yeah, it's been great. Really, some of our very best memories are here.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and for me, that's the key word. The key word is community, and it is not an abstraction. It's real people over real time, and it's our lives connecting. Yes, St. John's is a beautiful building. This is a lovely facility. But over a 40-year association with this community, what I can tell you is that it has transformed us and given us life, made us more whole and complete than it would be otherwise. So it is absolutely and in every way the people, it's a gift, and it's the gift of life.
We are profoundly grateful.
Thank you. You're
Our
welcome.
pleasure.
We're grateful too.